Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Macho Loco channel. Today we're going to look at the case of Maurice Dametz, who disappeared on April 29th, 1981, so basically exactly 40 years ago, from Pike National Forest, Colorado. Now the reason why I'm making this video, other than the fact that this is a very compelling missing 411 case, is because whenever I talk to anybody or someone inquires about a book that I'm reading, and it happens to be David McSherry's book on the missing people, if there's one case I would show them other than the Bart Schleyer case, this one would be it. This would be the case of Doc Maurice Dametz. Basically a very incredible person, kind of like Bart Schleyer, had a very remarkable life. He has written many religious papers on Christian life, and he was teaching at Denver University. Basically, he was just a very accomplished man, and at the age of 84, one of his great loves was to go and go with his buddies and do some topaz digging for topaz in the beautiful Pike National Forest. And this is a place he went many times before, at least 50 times before. He knew the area very well, but obviously at age 84, he had some bad knees. He had a blood condition that was always prevented him from doing anything extraneous. So he needed at least one person to go with him. And on this particular day, on April 29th, it happened to be his friend, McSweeney. And what happened that is very particular to Missing 411 is that they went into an area of the National Forest that was called Devil's Head. And again, this is many of these cases happen in areas with the name devil in them. But to get to the evidence, basically they set up their dig sites at 10 a.m. and they were within an earshot of each other, and they did well. They had fun. It was a decent day. Nothing weird that happened in the morning. They had some lunch, and they decided to dig some more in the afternoon, and then by late afternoon they were gonna wrap up and go home. So for the last part of the dig, they they set up about 50 yards apart from each other on a pretty high sloping hill, just down from their vehicle, and maybe 80 yards off the road, right? There's a couple of really good videos. Obviously, Mr. Politis did one of the best ones on the topic, in my opinion. So there's his from 5 years ago, and there's another person, from another channel that did another one that I'm going to link in the description below, because it's just that good. It gives you an idea of how what kind of environment McSweeney and Dametz were in, and how difficult it would have been to, especially for him with a bad knee and a blood condition and age 84, to just sneak away with his bag of tools and his rocks and not be detected by McSweeney, right? So at about 3 o'clock, they were still in contact with each other and yelling back and forth. And at 3:45 p.m., David McSweeney called out for Doc to just basically start wrapping up because it's time to go. And he didn't get a response, which is weird because just minutes earlier he did get a response. They were, just basically, and he could hear him. Whack away at the rocks. That's basically what you do. You find a good spot and you start digging, and there's a lot of dirt, but once in a while you strike a nice topaz, and it's fun, right? It's like me and mushroom picking. Sometimes you go for stretches and you find nothing, and other times like, wow, let's put the basket down. It's going to take a while, right? So yeah. Anyway, so he figured maybe he's just off relieving himself, so he gave him a minute. But then David wandered over and realized that Doc is not there. Now, not only is Doc not there, but his bag of tools is not there, and there's no sign of him. And he remembers leaving him there just a couple hours earlier. So he figured, well, I guess he could have, on his own, go up the hill to the truck, as unlikely as that is. But so he went to check. And as he got up the hill and checked, sure enough, there was no sign of of Doc Dametz at the truck. So he started honking a horn, yelling, doing everything you and I would do in the same situation, with no response. So, David started panicking and started, thinking what could have happened. There's so few things that could have happened. Eventually, there was a car that drove by the same road that they were on, and he flagged it down and said, "Look, you got to go get help. I have a missing person. They're very elderly. They need assistance. So please go get the sheriff. Get search and rescue if possible. I'll stay here and hopefully they'll show up." Search and rescue was notified. A huge search was initiated before the night was up. At about 8:45 p.m., the Douglas County Sheriff responded with a huge search, of the area, and the searchers got there that same night, with bloodhounds, and it was a very challenging area to search. It was steep. It was, which goes to the point of how was Mr. Dametz supposed to navigate this on his own? This was a very difficult area for fit search and rescue people to, cover and to check off. So how was Mr. Dametz at 84 with bad knees and a blood condition supposed to do that better than the search and rescue? Sadly, nothing was found. The search continued for a few more days after, and nothing was found. Not his bag, not a piece of clothing, no evidence of Mr. Doc Dametz ever being there. Ever. So think about that for a moment. What could have happened? There's a very short list. Maybe animal predation comes to mind. Well, there was no blood at the scene. There was no drag marks. There was no broken branches. There was no scene that would indicate any kind of struggle. There was no sounds. Remember, David was just 50 yards away. They were just minutes earlier. They were just back and forth about, hey, I got a good one here, and they were hearing each other dig. So whatever was responsible for removing Mr. Dametz from the area was stealthy, was incredibly quick, and it was something that, in my opinion, we have very little knowledge on. And this is definitely not the only case where this is true, but this is a very clear case where the evidence points to something that is just beyond our understanding at this moment in May of 2021. And I ask you to look at this case from a critical eye, be as skeptical as you'd like, and definitely comment below with your best outcomes of what could have happened. Because this is one of the ways we could move forward. Definitely check out the video from Mr. Polides he did an excellent job of showing you exactly what happened and where it happened. Same with the other link that I'm going to show with another person that did a fantastic job of giving you the visuals of what the searchers had to deal with. However, if you're like me and this mystery has got you strong, and it's not letting go, I want you to not only come with me and look at other cases, but please, when you are in a similar position, when you're camping, backpacking, hiking, just in the wilderness, to please be safe. Please have a personal locator beacon. Have a whistle on you. have a these are not necessarily crazy expensive things. The locator beacon can be, but have the necessities with you so that if this were to happen to you, you would have a way of fighting back. Have a knife, have a firearm if that is a legal option in your area that you live. Because if you have followed this phenomena along with Mr. Polides, you'll understand how little, other than the great work from the search and rescue people, how little cooperation is shown from other authorities like the National Forest Service, National Park Service, and the FBI and Green Berets. People that just are interested, they show up, but not to cooperate necessarily or to divulge information. They're interested in information for their own interest. So I ask you to comment down below. Thank you for spending some of your time with me. This phenomena is not going away, unfortunately. We are still seeing people disappearing in the same fashion in 2021. There are fresh cases, unfortunately, that are still being discussed, which I will bring to you the main ones that I can, time permitting. But I just want to thank you for following along. I want to thank Mr. Polides for continuing after the tragic loss of his son, which must have been, I can't imagine how difficult that would have been. After seeing his son do so well in life up to that point and be such an amazing manifestation of a human being. Just my heart goes out to the Polides family and to everyone that has one of these cases in Davis books, because this is not something that's easy to just move on from. And this is why I'm still here. I'm going to make more videos, and I appreciate any and all comments that you guys have. Have a great day.